Hey y'all, this is Zach. Just wanted to stop in and let you know what you can look forward to on the episode this week. In news, we take a look at The Last of Us Part 2's State of Play, as well as Sega's potentially bombastic 60th anniversary news. We take community questions from you, the community. And in new games, we're talking about Minecraft Dungeons, as well as some DLC for Moonlighter, a personal favorite of Scott's, right before Rel stops by to talk about Inexistence Rebirth. You can also discover that maybe I've got a bit of a thing for video game characters. So, look forward to that. This is The Gaming Outsider.
Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 297 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It's Monday, June 1st. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and I'm joined, as always, by my fellow co-host, Zach Parkerson.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Not bad. And Chris Behrensmeyer.
What up, yo?
Not much. How you guys doing? How's your week been?
It's great. It's a big, cheery week. Nothing but good news happening all around.
Yeah.
Been nice.
It's kind of a tough time to it's rough. I don't really know what to say because whatever I say will be the wrong thing. So we're gonna try to keep it positive here.
Heads up. Kansas City's on a curfew, and I live along a pretty standard police route. So we hear any sirens? That's Kansas City's bad.
Yes. Yeah. We apologize if you hear that in the background, but unfortunately it cannot be helped. Zach does not have the luxury of a basement where he can hunker down
No,
like
that would be nice.
CB and I can. Yeah. You guys do anything interesting this week? You had Memorial Day?
Yeah. I got my MRI done today on my wrist, and I won't know the results for a few more days. So, and other than that, I played with my printer a lot.
Yes, you did. It has been kind of a nightmare for you to get that thing taken care of, and kudos to Nate for helping you out try to get that thing figured out. We will have the store up and running soon, we promise. It's just been slightly delayed due to technical difficulties, so stay tuned for more info on that. I'm excited about this episode. We have our first voicemail.
Ooh.
We got a voicemail this week, so when we get to our community questions, we will hear one of our listeners' voices, and hopefully we'll have more of that in the near future. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. All right, lots to talk about this week. First off, we were supposed to get some details about the PS5 this week. Unfortunately, that's been delayed. We got 5 new games added to the list for Project xCloud. That includes Batman Arkham Knight, Pillars of Eternity, Mortal Kombat X, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. There's a big rumor floating around about SEGA right now. They supposedly have a huge announcement this week, which coincides with their 60th anniversary. We'll see if that actually happens now, considering the state of the world. We also got an extended gameplay look at The Last of Us Part 2 during Sony's State of Play online presentation. And Square Enix announced that they will be providing a live stream called War Table for their upcoming title, Marvel's Avengers, on June 24th. And lastly, we are getting a new Star Wars VR experience called Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, and it's in development from Industrial Light and Magic X Lab. Which of these stories sounds interesting to you guys?
I'm all over SEGA, man.
Yeah, you're the one that you were so excited about this news, you called me.
Yeah.
What? Come on.
No joke. I was out working in the yard or something, and my phone rings, and CB's like, "Have you heard about SEGA?" What are you talking about?
SEGA's coming back.
Have you heard about Sega? They make that blue hedgehog guy. It's pretty cool.
I know.
Yeah. So you want to give everybody the rundown of what's going on here? So
there was a ad that was streamed on TV over there. SEGA has a brand new mascot, Sega Shiro, over in Japan, and then they announce I believe it was some industry insider announced that SEGA has some huge groundbreaking scoop that's coming on June 3rd which is their 60th anniversary. And there's a lot of people that are believing that Sega wants to re-enter the console market. I don't think that's so much the case.
It's a little banana sandwich, in my opinion.
I just said, how would that benefit them in any way?
There's a lot of companies trying it, and Television's got a brand new console coming out this year.
But Television also doesn't have a huge publishing effort across all platforms.
Well, now that I've been reading a lot more into it, there's many people that are believing they're going to be announcing that they're going to be merging with another company.
Well, if you remember, there was a screenshot floating around a couple months ago that somebody claimed was fake. We obviously never know, but it was a supposed announcement from Microsoft, and it had the Sega logo on it. And there was.
I was going to say, didn't Major Nelson tweet that photo?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I think if Major Nelson tweeted it,
yeah, I think that would have been news.
Yeah.
Well, there's still been a lot of rumor floating around that they are teaming up with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I've been reading, there's a lot of people that believe legitimately they will be teaming up with Microsoft.
Isn't that the first thing I said to you when you called me?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe this is what it is. You're all like, new console. I'm like, there's no way.
Well, no way. I said that if there was going to be a new console, I had a feeling it's either going to be a Sega CD, Sega Saturn, or Sega Dreamcast Mini.
Mm-hmm. To me, that's not a huge announcement, though.
I think a Dreamcast Mini, there's definitely an audience that'll
that's gaga. Big news.
Me included.
I mean, I would actually, and then I told you, Scott, I want to see Sega do something like a Google Stadia, where you just have access to Sega's entire library, but streaming.
Like Nintendo Online, but you don't need a Switch. And,
yes. But they release that as like a channel or an app for all three major platforms.
I was just thinking I need another streaming service to pay for every month.
Yeah. I was running low. No, I need to start cutting some of those out. I think I still have CBS All Access, which I've barely used. I need to get rid of that.
I use that a lot more than the other ones.
I think that partnership makes a lot more sense than trying to get into the console market. It is way too late, especially right at the cusp of two brand new consoles coming from Microsoft and PS5, theoretically, by the end of this year. There's just no way. Like you said, Zach, they've got all these relationships built already, so you are automatically going to start making competitors by doing that, right?
Right. Yeah, I know people love Persona. I don't know if they love it enough to buy a console.
Yeah.
Which right now is exclusive to Sony. Well, there's some Persona games on Nintendo products, right?
Yeah, I think so. That is an interesting point, right? Because I feel like almost every Atlas game is like relatively PlayStation exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like PlayStation first, But those games would all go to Xbox if they had a partnership with Microsoft.
And that's kind of where I'm wondering if the groundbreaking scoop isn't they're going with Microsoft or they're going to be acquired by Microsoft. Because if they're like, oh yeah, they're going to be acquired by Sony, everybody would be like, oh, well, no big surprise there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would still be big news.
Yeah, it'd be huge. But I think the Microsoft thing makes a lot of sense. They already had they've had a good relationship dating back to the original Xbox with like Jet Set Radio and Project Sega Racing or whatever.
Well, plus the Sega games or the Sonic games rather have been on Xbox. Multiple ones. All kinds of Sonic games have been on Xbox.
I'm just wondering if it's going to be like what the repercussions would be if they went exclusively with Microsoft.
That's what I'm wondering as well, because isn't there a lot of bad blood between the Japanese companies?
All three of them. Yeah, I mean, between Sony and Nintendo, there's always been some bad blood over the PlayStation debacle. Sega has always had a little bit of a grudge against Nintendo for muscling them out. And then I know Sega has a huge grudge against Sony over the price is $299 at E3, which basically killed the Saturn before it even started.
I think that might have been the Saturn's fault.
Yeah. I think it was poorly priced at the time.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Is that legendary story where the guy went up there and said $2.99 and just dropped the mic
and then walked off stage? That was Sony's entire thing. Our new console, $2.99, drops mic, walks off stage, and that was the same. And then what was it, like an hour later? Sega had their press release where they announced the Saturn, but they had already made everything say it was going to be $399.
That's so baller.
That's why we don't have a price for either of the new consoles right now. Each one is waiting for the other to blink first.
Yeah, well, I mean, famously they had two prices for the PS4 already, depending on what Microsoft's price was, and it was either we will include the camera or we will not include the camera.
Right.
I think that's what's going to happen right now too. So.
Yeah,
here's the interesting thing. I mean, I know that this PS5 reveal or stream, whatever it was going to be, has now since been canceled. But originally, it was going to be on June 3rd, right? And then they switched it to June 4th, which June 4th is the actual 60th anniversary of Sega, right?
Well, Sega actually, yes, Sega's announcement was going to be on June 4th. PlayStation's was going to be on June 3rd, and then they changed theirs from June 3rd to June 4th.
Which made me think, okay, so is this does this mean they're partnering with Sony?
Which makes it even more interesting now that Sony has canceled theirs, but I don't believe Sega has canceled theirs yet.
So maybe that's a sign that it's not going to be changed. I don't know. It's hard to speculate at this point, and that's all we're doing at this now. Is speculating, so I don't know.
Yep.
Why don't we move on? Zach, what did you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, the what did you think of the Last of Us 2 gameplay?
Oh man, I feel like
right?
I did. I watched it with CB, and he was transfixed. He was really into it. I don't know. I am so excited to find out what they're doing with the story of that game. I am not looking forward to playing it. Spoiler alert for the games we've been playing. I did not play much Last of Us this week. Every time I try, I just can't get into it. And I think it's not a quality of game issue like it has been for the last couple of weeks. I just have not been in the right mood to deal with that bleak of a story right now.
That's kind of my takeaway from watching that gameplay, was just, do I need to be further reminded of the bleakness of humanity right now?
Right. I can't decide if that's going to help or hurt sales for this game. Truly.
I don't know if it'll help or hinder. I feel like people are still going to buy it because they're excited. But are people actually going to play it?
Right.
I don't know.
Watching that trailer, some of that game is pretty brutal.
Oh man, yeah. The moment where the last working PlayStation Vita, was in there. Did you catch that?
Yeah, the fact that somebody actually turned that into a story. They're like, in a surprise move, Sony killed off the last Vita owner.
Right. I think that was it became a meme for a minute there. Also, I'm not 100% certain, so don't quote me on it, but I think the girl that had that Vita was playing Hotline Miami.
Yes.
Was Hotline Miami on PS Vita?
Yes, that's where I played Hotline Miami.
So I thought that was kind of funny, but man, the kills are very brutal. Just enormous.
Dude, Ellie ain't playing games, man.
What's that?
Ellie ain't playing games. Shout for blood.
Well, and what's interesting is I just hit the point last week in the original Last of Us when she killed her first person. Remember when Joel was being drowned by a guy? He was having his head pushed underwater, and Ellie shot him.
Yep, I remember. Yes, distinctly.
And she was, I just shot the what out of that guy. It was a big deal, and now she's knifing people through the throat without even blinking. It's what was the quote you mentioned, Zach? That's something about the story of The Last of Us was all about love, and Last of Us 2 was all about war.
Well, Neil Druckmann said that the theme of the first Last of Us was love. Somehow, I don't know how he got there, but the theme of the second game is hate.
It's hate. That's what it was. And I got a little bit more excited. Actually, I was listening to a podcast today that you recommended me to listen to that was specifically talking about The Last of Us 2. And they were mentioning how, some of the people that have been playing the game already, I think somebody broke NDA and is saying, like, look, the story, the quote unquote spoilers that everybody is upset about is just a tip of the iceberg of the stuff that happens in this game. And you're going to want to play it. So
well, you and I have both been spoiled. It is so obvious a spoiler. It is like, I was just like, oh.
Even watching this, I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, that just seems apparent,
right?
Just for safety's sake, because I know people don't want to know, but it just seems blatantly obvious. And I think we all kind of assumed what was quote unquote spoiled was going to happen before we even play. Anyway, I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole there, but
I think it looks really fun. I do love that it makes you feel bad about killing people. I think that's awesome. I like No, it does not look fun, but it does look awesome. Like, it looks, it's different. I don't think every video game needs to be fun or make you feel like you're having a good time. You are killing people.
You did play Death Stranding, so that is fair.
Yeah, that certainly was. That was something. But and then like, if there's the previews are out there, and like every group, like all the enemies are named. So when you kill off one, they'll be like, "Where's Brad at?" And they'll find the body, like, "Somebody killed Brad. That was my brother." And like, so like they all have relationships and stuff, and that's awesome.
That is cool. That feels a little Shadow of Mordor-ish, although you're not going to have the the tree of guys or whatever, that the Nemesis system. It's not going to be like that, but
no, but it is designed to make you feel bad, and that's
right.
That's different.
Yeah. Surprise! Last of Us 2 has a Nemesis system.
That'd be rad.
Still, that whole thing still has not been used, which blows my mind. I don't know. The gameplay looks very much the same. I will say it feels more open-ended. Like I think I mentioned this to CB when I was watching it. I feel like I had no idea where the player was supposed to go. It just felt like she was wandering, and I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing for me. Because I kind of like a little bit of direction. I'm not saying I want a waypoint necessarily, although I do like waypoints. But there was nothing in the environment that pointed out where she needed to go next.
Having just blasted through all of the Uncharted's back to back, I don't really know if that's what I want out of Naughty Dog.
Okay.
Because their games are they're so well paced and linear and structured that it's always, oh, let me just get over this cliff. Let me just get through this fight. Let me just, climb up that. Like, you never want to put it down.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's a giant wide open area? I might be like, it's a good place to call it a night, And
I'm going to say something that's going to probably be a little controversial, but the gameplay in this reminded me a bit of the very little bit that I played of Metal Gear Solid 5, where you just have so many options of how to do whatever it is you're supposed to do. Like I feel like you're going to have lots of different ways to take down these enemies. You're going to have lots of different, not objectives, but just you just have an open-ended nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the impression I got. And again, I've played Metal Gear Solid 5 very, very little, but
just a lot more variety in general. Mm-hmm. How many planks and pallets and ladders do you think we'll have to scour the environment for?
I think that was like the first thing I said. I'm like, look, Scott, puzzles, and then more clickers.
Oh, puzzles, yeah, using the term loosely, but yes.
And they made a big deal about one of the enemy clickers. They don't call them clickers. What was the big fat one?
Oh, yeah. The bloaters.
How was that different from a bloater? Like it looked. Oh. It felt very similar to the one from the first game.
In this gameplay demo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just, I don't know. It was funny because that was a part of the demo where I was like, oh yes, this is a video game. We must have our evolved enemy types.
Well, I pointed out immediately that this game, to me, looks almost exactly like Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
You say that, and I feel like Zach's comments about this game were very similar to his comments on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, in that it makes you feel bad about killing people.
Yes.
Like Lara was not a good person by the end of that game. Not by the beginning of that game. She was not a good person. But
Yeah, the co-writer of this game also. I guess I'm more excited about this game than I thought. The co-writer did an interview today where she said they didn't write any character as a hero or a villain. Which I think is cool.
It's stuff like that that's really keeping me on the hook for Last of Us Part 2. Because I feel like I have to play it, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm not looking forward to it. It's the only real big title coming out this month that I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm at the point where I feel like I need to stop playing the first one and just go watch YouTube videos of all the cutscenes, just so I can like get caught up on the story again. Because playing that game is just depressing, and I didn't feel that way the first time playing it. So I don't know.
It's because it was fresh and new, man.
That's probably what it is. But why doesn't this feel fresh and new? The story is going to feel fresh and new. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know what everybody's been talking about that's happening in this game, that I have to play it. But I'm going to have to go through those stealth sequences, and I'm just not looking forward to it.
I have to imagine it plays better.
I hope so. I will say the gunfights aren't as bad as the clicker moments.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind shootouts too much, but I just seriously hate wandering around crouching with that like Batman vision, waiting for him to pass. I'm just so over that kind of stealth. I hope they do something a little bit different with the gameplay here. We
can talk about that later.
We can.
Regardless, I'm going to be playing it, so.
Yeah, no, of course. I think we're all going to play it.
Anyway.
It would be irresponsible as not to play it.
Man, don't tell me that. I want to talk quickly about this Project xCloud thing, because I'm getting annoyed that they keep announcing games that are added to Project xCloud, a service that I can't use. Like, this is awesome, guys. You're adding all these games, but I still can't use it.
Well, that's sad.
Like Warner Brothers rolling out their support with games from 5 years ago.
Yeah. Ori and the Will of the Wisp, is brand new, but that's also a Microsoft studio game, so that makes sense. Mortal Kombat 11 is already out, so I can't imagine Mortal Kombat X is a game you'd want to play on your phone. Like, isn't that two? That's 2 Mortal Kombats ago, right? I don't know.
It might actually make me want to play a Lego Batman game.
Which one is it? Is it Lego Batman 3? Is that right?
Yeah.
Beyond Gotham? That's supposed to be easy achievement points. So yeah, if it were on there, I could definitely just mop up some of that stuff while I'm watching The Ranch on Netflix.
Why would you ever do that?
I like that show. It's a guilty pleasure.
Which show?
Oh my God.
The Ranch.
Oh yeah, it's a great show.
No, what? Absolutely not. Lego Batman 3, you go to all the home planets of the Lantern Corps.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, the whole plot is based around the Lantern Corps. They should have named that game Lego Green Lantern.
Oh, really? So will I get a good understanding of the Green Lantern universe by playing Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham?
Probably not.
Obviously it'll all be tinged with comedy, and Batman will shoehorn himself into every scene somehow.
I'm Batman.
But otherwise, I'm the Batman. Or they could call it Lego Justice League. Anyway, you're sorry you can't play xCloud.
It's my fault. I have an iPhone. And I didn't bother trying to get the invite because I had an iPhone. I knew I couldn't play it anyway, but they better bring it to iPhone to be really angry if they don't.
It's still pretty nice for those of us that do have it.
I would love playing the Children of Morta portably. Sounds great to me. And yes, I know I could go get it on the Switch, but I already have it on Xbox. It would just be so convenient just to get me one of those little connectors and play some more Children of Morta whenever I want to. But
yeah, I was going to say just briefly, War Table is something I'm excited about, but not much to say there.
Yeah,
but I'm very excited about Avengers, and the Star Wars VR thing is also cool. But I can't let myself get excited about it because am I going to get to play it? I don't know.
Yeah, with it being done by ILM, that makes me think it's going to be more of an experience than a game.
Yes.
But I'll take it. I'll definitely take it.
It's got Star Wars right in the title.
They flat out said it's a VR experience.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever play the one There's the one that was attached to Battlefront recently. I never got to play it.
You're talking about the Rogue One X-Wing mission or whatever?
Yeah. Is that on PlayStation VR?
It is. I have not played it because I do not own the first Battlefront. But yeah, it's on PSVR.
We need to do that, CB. Do you still have this first Battlefront?
Yes, I do.
On PlayStation?
It's still not opened.
Oh, you got a special edition one?
No. I just didn't open it. I bought it for $5.
Oh. All right. Well, we need to get that VR mission and play that because I've heard that experience is pretty awesome. Like Star Destroyers coming in, and I need to play that.
I can't wait for Vader Immortal on PSVR.
Oh man, that was a pretty fun experience. Pretty fun experience. Well, guess what, guys? We are an independently funded podcast, which means that we must pay for our podcast hosting services, the website, everything all on our own, which is why we have a Patreon page where fans can contribute monthly to help offset the costs of production, as well as give back to the community. If you'd like to help out, you can do so at patreon.com/thegocast. We really would appreciate it. We use any extra funds that we got to do giveaways or games that we played a review for the show, and then we turn around and give them to the community. Last month, we gave away a copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was awesome. And I believe this month it's a no-brainer that we're going to go with a physical copy of The Last of Us Part 2, because that just makes too much sense. But if you would like to help contribute, like I said, head over to patreon.com/thegocast. And on top of that, we give you a little bit of some incentive. We give you some bonus episodes that you can listen to where we get a little bit more R-rated, kind of stray from the PG a little bit on those episodes. And CB, what's currently available for members that sign up for the $3 per month level?
Well, our most two recent episodes are our drinking trivia game, where you face off against me, moderated by Spencer.
Yep.
And also Retro Reminisce, which was you, Chad, and Spencer, I believe.
It was. Good time. So if you'd like to hear those episodes, as well as anything else we've done, that $3 gives you access to everything. Retro Outsider episodes where we talk about older games, Break the Seal, where somebody plays a game series for the first time, games that aren't for us, all kinds of just different stuff that we do. We do 2 episodes each month. So please help us out, and we will thank you by giving you some extra content. Now let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. It's community questions times once again. We ask you on social media, Facebook, Discord, and Twitter for discussion questions that we can answer right here on the show. And we got a little bit of a twist this week because we now have a hotline, which I gave the number last week, for you to be able to leave us a voicemail and possibly hear your voice on the show. And we do have one for you coming up here, but let's start with Facebook. Zach, why don't you go ahead and read the first comment and or the first question, excuse me, and we'll go ahead and answer it.
Sure thing. Dusty Potter said, the discussion the other day about Sega joining up with Sony or Microsoft got me thinking, what if during this console cycle Nintendo loses big time and can't keep up with Sony and Microsoft? If Nintendo had to partner up with per to stay afloat, who in your opinion would they team up with? Microsoft or Sony? Follow-up, second part, is what would happen to the competitor Nintendo didn't pick? Thanks.
It's an interesting question. I mean, I don't see it happening by a long shot. They're doing quite well.
Well, and they also, it's such a noteworthy aspect of Nintendo that they have a giant war chest of money reserved.
Right.
So they will be okay, even if the Switch did fail. But let's go with your hypothetical, Dusty, and say just nothing but, the apocalypse occurs at Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would behoove Microsoft to spend whatever they had to.
Absolutely. I mean, they've already talked about partnering. Haven't they been talking about Game Pass being on Switch for a year now? Over a year?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you can get achievements in Minecraft right on Switch, can't you?
I don't know, but I just got excited about Minecraft for a split second.
Honestly, I think if that happened and Nintendo just went belly up, I don't think they join with either.
What,
I
out
think
of pride?
I think they would probably join up with Google.
Oh, interesting. No, but wait a minute. Google's going the online route, and Nintendo is notorious for not having been able to figure out their online service.
Wouldn't that be the perfect thing to solve their problem?
Don't you think Japanese pride would kind of keep them tied with Microsoft, though? Because they have an
Wait a
established
minute.
relationship.
How would a company that doesn't know how to do online services right help another?
No. Nintendo doesn't know how to do online services right. Google doesn't know how to run a game service right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Boom, match made in heaven.
That was my point. What you were saying, Zach, too, is like Japanese pride. That's where I thought CB was going with.
There's always been that huge amount of hate between Sony and Nintendo, so I don't ever see that happening.
Well, yeah. So I don't think Sony and Nintendo would ever happen either. Or Microsoft, for sure.
So Microsoft would probably make more sense, but I still think Google would be on the outside because Google does have a crap load of money.
Or Nintendo could just go the publishing route and just sell their IPs to Microsoft and Sony.
Oh, there you go. You got Zelda exclusive to Xbox, Mario exclusive to PlayStation.
That would actually be super smart.
Could you imagine?
I'm pretty sure Nintendo would lose like half their fan base immediately.
I think a high tide would raise all boats.
I agree.
I don't know. Or maybe that's the Sega news is Sega's like, yeah, we're being acquired by Nintendo.
That would be fun. That'd be
yeah, we didn't even throw that one out there.
Could you imagine if Nintendo assisted the development of a Sonic game?
Oh my goodness.
They already do.
Well, I mean, Sonic's there.
He's talking about the Olympics games, right?
The Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
That doesn't count.
I'm talking about Nintendo R&D Team 3 is like, yeah, sure, we'll help you make a Sonic.
I think that would be phenomenal.
Yes, I would have to change my underwear.
So we're all picking Microsoft at this point, right?
Microsoft. Microsoft.
So the question is,
one.
Who they have to pick. I think because of Dusty's second question of what would happen to the competitor, because if PlayStation somehow acquired Nintendo in this scenario, Microsoft all of a sudden I think becomes a niche product. You know, I mean the Xbox is already doing so poorly that they don't report sales numbers. Could you imagine if the competitor also added Mario and Zelda to their stable?
Yeah. But if they did go Microsoft route, I don't think Sony would be affected as much. I think Sony would still be just fine.
Yes.
Yeah, because the Sony fans will still buy Sony stuff, and you just have the Nintendo fans moving from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Nintendo is very much the Disney of video games, right? So if they go to Xbox, I think you almost easily convert all of those sales of Nintendo products over to Xbox almost immediately because of families.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, let's go to the next one, CB.
Jeff Swan, do you have any games that you love from a genre you don't typically play? For example, I don't play many competitive shooters, but hoo boy, was I a maniac on Unreal Tournament for Dreamcast.
I know what Zach's answer is.
Do you?
I do.
Were we talking about it just before we were recording?
Yes, we were.
Yeah. I feel like the obvious answer for me is Days Gone. Because the back of the box is almost all of the things I don't like about video games. You know, giant open world. It's the biker, which I don't really like biker fiction at all.
Long story.
And yes, very, very long game. So many just checklist activities that are so repetitive. But I cannot stop playing this game. I just boot it up every now and again to throw on a podcast and just drive around, hit up some zombies, trying to go for that platinum trophy. I love Days Gone.
You're making me want to go back and play that.
It's so good. Although his Unreal Tournament does remind me, I used to play Unreal Championship 2, the Leandry Conflict on Xbox. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy Chris would play that all the time on the original Xbox, and we were routinely top 10 in the world on that game.
Wow. I think my answer is my answer is very similar to Jeff's because I'm not a big multiplayer game guy, as you guys know. But I've mentioned it before, the original Titanfall. I actually prestiged in that game, which doesn't make any sense. I was so into that game. I was on a mission to prestige. And I know that like people have prestige 10 times or whatever, but for me, to prestige one time was a big deal.
Yeah, man. Titanfall's a worthy game for that.
Yeah. CB, what's yours?
I have two.
I was gonna say you can have multiple. He used plural.
Yeah. Well, I don't play tournament fighters like anything from that genre, other than like Mortal Kombat 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So I'm not really big on those. And then sports games, but I will play a crap load of the Tiger Woods series.
I do love golf games. There's something relaxing about golf games, and I don't even like golf in real life.
I love golf in real life.
Do you?
Yep.
Yeah, I've only gone twice, but it was a lot of fun. Complete waste of space, though. I also hate fighting games. I only play the NetherRealm games for the story once and then never play them again. But I played so much Skullgirls when that came out. And I'm sure there are some reasons that attracted me to it originally. I won't deny. It's a beautiful game to look at. Let me say. But yeah, man.
Skullgirls. I've not played that one. I played a lot of Street Fighter Alpha. Not the PS1.
Street Fighter 2 Alpha.
Not Street Fighter 2. Was it Street Fighter 2 Alpha?
Yep.
Is that? Did they do Street Fighter 3 Alpha?
Whichever one.
I think it was Street Fighter 3 High Impact.
Whichever one guys here who don't like fighting games, apparently.
Yeah, right. Whichever one introduced the character Guy, the tall, skinny guy that wore like a red jumpsuit. He could like jump off of the back wall, which was just like my favorite move ever. I played the mess out of that. I used to be really good at that fighting game, and I've never been good at a fighting game ever since. I thought I was getting good at Street Fighter V, and then I went online and realized I wasn't.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. I got this now. I'm ready to do this. No, it wasn't. Did you have any more, Zach?
No, not that immediately come to mind.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, our next question comes from Sean Coates. He says, what are some of your favorite video game tunes, either select songs or full soundtracks? I'm going to start by saying Control. Take Control from Control.
Oh, yeah?
I have put that song. I actually do a playlist every year that throughout the year, I listen on Spotify to like you know how they do that like playlist of like suggested songs that fit in your genre of music or whatever? I listen to that every Monday when that comes out, and I just listen for songs that really like speak to me or whatever. And then I add that song to a playlist that I call my summer mix for whatever year it is. So my summer mix 2019 had Take Control on it. And that one just immediately popped in my head when I saw Sean's question. I got more, but I'll let you guys go.
Oh, that song immediately got added to my arcade mix.
Yeah.
For when I'm playing like shmups.
Oh yeah, dude. He literally like puts in headphones and stuff at the arcades when he's going for a high score. It's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. So that immediately got added to my list. So that would be a song pick. But as far as soundtracks, Final Fantasy 15 is easily up there for me. And then DuckTales.
Like the actual original?
Yep.
Or like, because I know some bands have done like the Moon song and all that, but...
Oh yeah, I all the like Capcom, like Disney Afternoon games, I loved the soundtracks for them. Because they're just great 8-bit soundtracks.
I've got the Chip and Dale's one stuck in my head now. It came out of nowhere for some reason. That's a good call. Zach, how about you?
Well, Final Fantasy IX is my favorite soundtrack to a video game. I listen to that all the time. Like at jobs where we can pick the playlist, I'll always put on the FF9 soundtrack. But Nier Automata is a close second. The first Nier also has a good soundtrack. Dragon Guard 3. There's a song from Silent Hill 3 called "You're Not Here." It's kind of like the intro song when you boot up the game. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite songs ever. It's just a song I go to listen to feel good.
Nice.
The Persona soundtracks are really good as well. I guess I'm learning Japanese video game soundtracks. Apparently, is what I'm learning.
Sounds like it. I think the soundtrack that I listen to most, like especially when I'm like trying to get some work done on my computer, is the Celeste soundtrack, which is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, when I write, I also put on the FF9 soundtrack.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I have a weird obsession with the Final Fantasy 13 soundtrack for some reason.
It's phenomenal.
There's something that gets I get these nostalgic feelings when I listen to that, even though that game is only 10 years old.
Yeah.
I remember that point in time, like what was going on in my life. It just feels good. And man, I love that soundtrack. I mean, I've been listening a lot to the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, which the remake version is now on Spotify, by the way. And that's
nice.
That's a good one to go back and listen to. And I like the Uncharted theme.
Yes, I listened to the Uncharted soundtrack, 2 and 3 soundtrack.
It just sounds like a movie soundtrack.
Well. It's good.
For good reason.
Come to think of it, I have another big one that I actually keep on Spotify, which is a mix of the Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas radio stations.
Oh, that's cool.
That's yeah.
Props with
to
all
you, sir.
With all the Three Dog bits and Vegas bits.
Man, I want to go back. I want a remaster of Fallout 3 so bad.
Oh yeah, give it to me.
Oh, I just want to be back in that world again so much. And those songs, most of them I had never heard before Fallout 3 came out. But then, same with BioShock. Had a bunch of songs that I feel like... Or no, maybe that was Fallout. What was the bongo? Bongo, bongo, bongo. Hey,
that's Fallout.
Yeah, that's Fallout. Yeah.
Da, da, da.
Yeah.
That is such a great soundtrack.
Oh,
I am kind of...
so much fun exploring that world.
I am a total sucker for any time a video game has an original song in it, you know? Like, Weight of the World in Nier Automata or Devil Trigger, Devil May Cry 5 is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Even Sands of Time has a song they wrote for it called Time After Time.
Still Alive from Portal.
Still Alive is so good. Yeah, anytime a video game gives me an original lyrical song, I'm a sucker for it.
Fat chance.
Yes.
I want to play Portal again.
Since trying every mistake. Just keep on going until you run out of cake.
Well, Sean, I'm pretty sure we did an episode on soundtracks at one point, so I'll have to look up and see which episode that is, but we had a pretty lengthy discussion on that, so keep an eye out for that. But we're going to move on to Discord. Spencer Cushing, what game have you spent the most hours on? CB?
No surprise, World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But
we get this question somewhat often, I feel like.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to forego that one and say probably Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Well, yeah, considering I played it twice.
I actually just booted it up this morning and was roaming around on the seas.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
That's a relaxing thing, by the way. Yeah.
Yes.
Those shanties are so good. That's another soundtrack that's really good.
Also have it on Spotify.
Didn't you one time when we were like doing books for the Gaming Outsider last summer? Or sometime
that was like 2 months ago that I just did that.
Was it 2 months ago? We're like working together, and he just puts on the Assassin's Creed 4 soundtrack, all the sea shanties.
It's relaxing.
It's relaxing for about 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, dude, we got to listen to something else.
Because otherwise, you want to go raid the shores.
Right. I think I've said that. I've answered this before. I think Pinball FX has the most hours for me, if not either Assassin's Creed or Fallout 3. Because again, Fallout 3 I played through twice as well to get all of because you can get it by playing it through good, play it through as bad. And that was
neutral.
And neutral. And that was before my look up ways to get through a game as quickly as possible to get the achievements in the least amount of time. So I just did it because I enjoyed it. So yeah, Fallout 3, hundreds of... Skyrim might be up there too, considering how many times I played through that. Or not through it, I've not finished it.
Considering it's come out on like every imaginable console or variant.
Yeah, even Siri, right?
Yeah. No, the very special edition with your refrigerator.
And then for me, it is probably legitimately Sands of Time, because I think I've probably beaten that game 1,000 times. So that's already 4,000 to 5,000 hours. No joke. And still not old, man. That game is perfectly made. But it's either that or either Diablo 2 because I was a teenager and wasted plenty of time. Or Arkham City, because I've booted up that game probably every week since it came out, just to do some challenge maps.
Nice.
So surprised it's not Fallen Order yet.
We'll get there. Yeah, it's young yet.
All right, Zach, why don't you take the next one?
The Caramel Bear. Individuals that favor a relaxing spa day at home usually go with the assumed warm bubble bath, glass of wine, relaxing music, and cucumbers on each eye. Anyway, my question to you is as follows. From the gamer perspective, what would you like or need to excite yourself knowing that you have your own personal spa day at home? We all know beer is involved. Specify your beer of choice or non-alcoholic beverage of choice if you don't drink.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure beer would be involved in there at some point, but for me, the bigger thing that I like to drink when I'm playing games is coffee. I really like to drink coffee when I'm playing, and I don't know, it doesn't stay warm very long when I make it myself. I want to get one of those big old thermal mugs and really good coffee. So definitely coffee and quiet. Guys, I am getting so old. Not ever since, it was before I hit 40, but noises outside annoy me.
Uh-oh, you are old.
Like the neighbors yelling or somebody mowing their lawn too early or something. Like the older I get, the more I crave silence. You know, even if I'm not playing a game, I was watching a movie the other day and my neighbor is like revving his motorcycle in his driveway. Just over and over and over again, trying to fix whatever it was at 9:30 at night while I'm trying to watch a Marvel movie with my wife, and it's just annoying. So, coffee and quiet is my big thing. Although the alternative would be playing with friends in the room, like that day when we had a bunch of people over here, CB, and we just set up TVs all over the basement. Everybody played their own game, hopped in with some people here and there, hopped in VR. I love that.
You're lying. I know exactly what your perfect spa day would be if you had nothing to do.
Okay.
It would be probably a case of Founders.
Well, by the end of the night, yeah.
And your own personal digital pinball FX table.
Oh, man. Now that's a day right there.
See, I told you, you're lying.
But if you do that, you got to have somebody.
But this is supposed to be your own spa day. Like it's all you. You do whatever you want.
It's a lot of pinball in one day, man.
Well, but the digital pinball tables, man, you have all the tables.
Do I get to keep it?
Yeah, you do.
Oh man, I don't know if I told you about that, Zach. There is, the Pinball FX, which I talk about all the time. They make a actual table that the whole, instead of it being like the pinball machine, is just a digital screen. And the games that I play on Xbox, you actually play at a physical pinball table. And it was like,
cool.
It was like $10,000.
Oh,
we saw
yeah.
it at Midwest Gaming Classic. Actually,
Yeah.
there's a video floating around because they were marketing it, and they asked me to talk to the camera and give my impressions of playing it. So there's a video somewhere floating around on YouTube somewhere of me talk about how much I love playing this digital table and asked if I could take it home with me.
He wouldn't walk away from it.
It was pretty cool. That's
I
a
mean,
good call,
man
though,
loves
CB.
pinball. He loves pinball FX.
I do. CB, what about
you? Let's see. Probably a case of Balls energy drink.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming up.
Yep.
I love balls. The energy drink.
Probably my arcade sound mix, and then have the Galloping Ghost all to myself, and just play arcade games all day long.
The entire Galloping Ghost all to yourself?
Just all to myself, whatever I want to play. Nobody hovering. Just me, my music, some energy drinks, and whatever arcade game suits my fancy at the time. But if I didn't have that, then I would probably just boot up my Galaga machine and do the same thing. But I don't want nobody to bother me, no kids, no wife, nothing. So I could just zone in and just hit some high scores.
I feel like it would be eerie to be in an arcade that size alone.
I'd love it.
It just would be so bonkers. It is a bummer when you want to play a game and nope, somebody's on the machine. Can't do it.
Or like you sit there and you hit that perfect rhythm, like in like any shmup at an arcade, and like somebody comes up and like bumps you, and you just kind of lose your focus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that drives me.
Well, plus there's that one back corner that you can't even squeeze past somebody if they're on a machine. I don't know. I think they've updated it now. They've expanded since we were there last time. But like if the light gun games, if anybody is at a light gun game, you cannot get past them in that one corner.
Or just in silence, take another run at that Dr. Mario cabinet.
So you can walk away with grandma hand again.
Yep.
Zach, what about you, man?
I mean, for me, give me a brand new video game. Let me turn off my phone and be alone. Just play a new game for like 16 hours straight.
I genuinely think that I would be a much happier person if I could turn off my phone for a day.
Yeah, I would concur with that sentiment. As for drink of choice, I don't really do beer. I do like 312 wheat. Balls would be good. Absolutely. If I do drink, it's usually a wheat whiskey, and it's neat or on the rocks, depending on how frisky I'm feeling. But yeah, I don't know. I just like soda, man. Give me a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper, a brand new video game, and 16 hours of not talking to a single soul. I will be a very happy boy.
Oh, man. And once you get past the coffee phase for me, it's definitely Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew so much. And then we cap off the night with All Day.
Just what I'm talking about. It's called All Day for a reason.
Sure is. Good call. All right, CB.
Christina Flores from our group. Have you had any video game character crushes? If so, and why?
I know Zach has a million, so can I go first, Zach? Because I have one that I know is going to be on your list.
I was going to say, you guys are going to have to buckle in when I get to mine here.
Yeah. But Quistis from Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
Was the first one where I went, hey.
How you doing? She is so deliberately set up to make you go, hey.
Yeah. Man.
That long red dress and a whip. And she's a teacher?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was all about Quistis. But Zach, we'll let you go last because you have a couple pages, I imagine. Right?
Yeah. I'm not afraid to have a crush.
CB?
Yeah. Mine's pretty simple. Jill Valentine from Resident Evil.
I assume that's on Zach's as well.
But if I had to get a little more risque, Juliet from Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah. Zach both have the same. Yeah.
She's hard not to like.
Yeah. So, and then we will kick it over to Zach with his incredibly long Japanese list.
Yeah, there's gonna be 2B and A2 from Nier Automata. Kaine from Nier, she's my one true wife, love her to death. Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 2 Remake, yes, she's quite a character. You got Marin and Trilla from Fallen Order, I haven't been able to get out of my head. Trying to think of Basila from KOTOR. There's Alex from this game Breakdown, I was way into her. But you definitely had a man crush on Nero playing Devil May Cry 5, there's no question. I liked Lady back in Devil May Cry 3. Man, I've just, I'm not afraid to fall in love, guys. Alright? And there are some video game characters worth falling for.
How about Samus?
Out there. Samus, I don't know. Never tripped my trigger, really. Zero from Drakengard 3, I had a huge crush on, but in a dangerous way, because I'm pretty sure she would ruin me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Dude, there's a Lara Croft, obviously.
Especially in the recent, in the first game, especially in the first of the reboots or whatever. It was just very easy to have a crush on her there. The accent alone.
Yes. Camilla Luddington has a very nice voice.
Yes, she does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, we got one more before our voice.
I was going to say, I intentionally did not think of that question. I only want to go off the cuff, or otherwise it would have been like 5 years. I'm sure.
Drew Ross says, what games from Xbox, PlayStation, and PC do you think would be perfect on the Nintendo Switch that hasn't already released? That's a good question. What do you want to see on this?
That's easy.
Okay.
Ori. Both the Ori games.
Yeah.
They are on there.
The first one is.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
So the second one, Cuphead.
Cuphead's on Switch.
Wait,
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting because I don't have like a physical copy of that one. That one is on there. So yeah, I guess the second Ori game, and any like tactical shooter.
Tactical shooter. See, I don't know if I want to play a tactical shooter on a Switch. Because I feel like using the Pro Controller is fine, but I feel like the way that the thumbsticks are on the Switch aren't ergonomically sound for a shooter.
I mean, not tactical shooter, but like an XCOM game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
XCOM.
to me, those fit perfectly on a Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't agree more.
So
We were talking about Fallout. I would love to be able to play Fallout wherever, but I don't know if the Switch could handle it.
I'm pretty sure if Fallout 3 was on the Switch, I would never play anything else ever again.
See, I don't know. Like, if I'm going to play that, I want that on the big screen. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess everybody said the same thing about Skyrim.
That's
and
true.
Skyrim does well on the Switch.
Yeah.
For me, weirdly enough, because I don't like the game very much, the first thing that came to mind was Horizon Zero Dawn on Switch. And I mean, that's just because it came out right around Breath of the Wild, and they're both these open world games. But I feel like the only reason I played so much Breath of the Wild was because of its portability, and because other people could watch the TV while I'm playing with my headphones and stuff. I feel like, I want to replay Horizon to try to give that game a second shot, and it would be a lot easier for me if it was on the Switch.
I forgot that you did not finish that game.
No, I finished it.
Oh, okay.
I just want to retry it. Not rushing through it to play Breath of the Wild.
I see.
See,
Yeah, but
I feel the reason what drew me to Horizon Zero Dawn was the view, and that's one that I would only ever want to play on a big TV.
I get that. I mean, I guess it would be pretty compromised on the Switch.
Getting on those tall necks and
fine.
This enormous landscape on a 5-inch screen.
I don't care about the screens. Again, Breath of the Wild is a beautiful, vast, open game.
That's true.
But it's not as technically detailed as Horizon. But I think the real best answer is the Master Chief Collection. All those games could run on Switch.
You think so? Even 5?
Five's not.
Oh, no, you're right.
4 and 5 aren't in the mess.
4 is?
1.
No, it's just 1. It's 1 through ODST.
Yeah. It's 1 through ODST, but I would only want them on the Switch if Nintendo fixed their online support.
Oh, because you want to play online.
I mean, that would be sick. I mean, Splatoon works, right? On handheld mode?
Yeah.
Online? Yeah, if you could do that with Halo, I feel like I would get back into Halo multiplayer in a big bad way. Those games run on there fine. They have the relationship with Microsoft. You get those achievements. I think it would be smart.
All right, we got time for one more, and this one is a voicemail that we got from our voicemail line. We'll be doing this for our community questions each month. Again, the number is area code 347-746-2278, or if you want an easy way to remember it, it is 3477-GO-CAST. And this voicemail comes from our good buddy, David Newman.
Hi, GO-CAST. This is David from the community. I didn't get a question answered on the last community topic, so I'm going to ask you 2 questions. The first one is, what is some of your favorite DLCs? And the other one was, I'm someone who's more of thinks that a video game is better as a TV show than a movie. But what is a video game that you think is actually better suited to be a movie than a TV show? Thank you.
All right, so he had a two-parter in there. His first question is, what are some of your favorite DLCs? And then, what's a video game that you think is actually better suited to be a movie than a game? Let's start with the DLC. Horse Armor, Zach, is that your favorite DLC?
Yeah, $5 for Horse Armor was a steal. There's no question. The first DLC that comes to mind for me is Bloodborne: The Old Hunters.
Okay.
Which added on, some more boss fights, and I think one of the best boss fights in the games is that Lady Maria. Is she in the main game or is she Old Hunters?
You're asking the wrong guy, man.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower was in the DLC The Old Hunters, and she's one of the best boss fights in the game. And it goes super Cthulhu in that DLC. They you pretty much just go to Innsmouth, which from the short story Shadows over Innsmouth. There's a bunch of fish people and stuff. It's really awesome. It just adds a lot to that game. Phenomenal DLC.
Nice. CB, how about you?
All of the Fallout 3 DLC.
That's going to be mine too.
There's
lots of Fallout talk.
It's so good.
I mean, even the Fallout 4 DLC was like really good too.
Didn't they even have like an alien spaceship one in Fallout 3? Zeta?
Yeah. Mothership Zeta.
Like they just went full weird. And we loved it.
They went for it, man. Yes.
It's...
I wish more DLCs take themselves so seriously now.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we were... Or Sleeping Dogs had a phenomenal suite of DLC as well. There's a vampire DLC in that game. Or you fought in a Mortal Kombat tournament in another. It was just absurd.
I mean, could we consider Undead Nightmare a DLC?
Well, I was going to say one similar to that is like a standalone game, which was that Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Oh, God. Trials of the Blood Dragon?
No, not Trials of the Blood Dragon. Just Blood Dragon. Trials was like the motorcycle one. I'm talking about it was like a straight up 80s Far Cry game. Like
and Michael Biehn.
It was Michael Biehn, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that, but I don't know if that counts as DLC because you didn't have to own the original game to do that.
Right. Yeah, because if you do standalone, I would also say Dragon Age Awakening.
Okay.
Was horrendous.
I like the
opened up the lore.
I like the DLC for Borderlands 2. There was that they introduced that character Torg, which I thought that character was hilarious. He's like, "I got one question for you: explosions?" That just cracked me up. And there's a whole Tiny Tina DLC. That voice. Still
what about Lair of the Shadow Broker?
Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, I can't relate.
I think Mass Effect in general had a pretty good suite of DLC, including one of the best named ones, Bring Down the Sky.
You know the one we're missing that's probably the best DLC content I've ever played was for BioShock Infinite. The Rapture, not Rapture.
Oh, really? I never bothered.
Those are pretty good from a story perspective, man. You should go back and play those if you have the BioShock collection.
I do.
They're worth playing. They're pretty cool stories going on in there.
Yeah. Spider-Man has pretty good DLC.
I remember you talking about that. It was like a Black Widow thing, right?
Oh, Black Cat.
Black Cat, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it was like 3 DLCs that kind of made a narrative. And I like that because you saw Spider-Man. He was pretty angry in that DLC.
I'm interested to see it. I don't know how well I would be at jumping back into that game at this point.
Yes, it is. That DLC is hard. It assumes you have just gotten done playing the main game.
Yeah.
Like the combat encounters. It does not bring you back up to speed. Although you do get to find out that Peter was sleeping with Black Cat bareback, so that was nice.
Nice. What about David's other question? Video games did you think would actually be better suited to a movie than a game? That's a tough one. And I don't want to just keep saying Fallout but Fallout would make a great TV series.
Wait, didn't he ask movie instead of a TV show?
He said TV show or movie. What is video game that you think is actually more better suited to be a movie than a game? So I'm assuming he's meaning it could be a movie or a TV show.
I definitely misheard.
I got one.
The Last of
Control.
Us.
Oh. Man, that game plays
I
so
think
good, though, man.
Control. But can you imagine like how bonkers a movie that would be?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think that would be better as a game. I do.
Imagine if you took whoever did all the stunt work not the stunt work, but like the choreography for the John Wick series and have them just do the ashtray maze.
I think that would be a great short film. Like, when Dan Trachtenberg did the Portal 2 short film, do something like that. But here, the thing with the ashtray maze is, was the ashtray maze, would it have been as cool if you just got just that? I feel like you appreciated that section because of the lead up and acquiring the powers at the rate that you did and the pacing.
I still think it would. I think it would make it actually a great movie series.
I think Grand Theft Auto 4.
Ooh.
Because personally, GTA 4 is my favorite story in this franchise, but it is not the best playing game. But I think that would be a great story to see over multiple seasons.
I mean, even 5 you could probably throw in there too. I wasn't fun to play.
Yeah, it was better to play.
It was better to play than 4,
right.
but
yeah,
that's
actually Far Cry 5
better as a movie than a game.
I think that
Or
would
TV
make
show.
for a terrific movie.
Man, I feel like that's been done though. I can't come up with a name, but I feel like
With that ending?
no, not with that ending. Man, man, that ending. Did we do a spoiler cast on that? Like I was
Yes, we
I was
did.
so angry, but then the more I thought about it, I kind of liked it, and then I grew to love it.
It was a bold
It
statement.
was. Good question, David. Again, we'll have a topic. We'll do community questions at the beginning of July, and we'll get that phone number out there as well. Next week's topic, we've actually already got planned. We're going to do this. We're going to ask you to take, speaking of movies, video game movies, we're going to have you take an existing video game film and make it better. Think, new casting, new director, maybe even a new plot. So take one of those, because, video game movies are notorious for being terrible. So this is your job to make one better. Pick one, come up with a better cast, better director, and tweak the plot if you feel like it. So stay tuned next week on the socials. We'll have that out there for you. Before we get to the games we've been playing, I want to say hello to some new Facebook members, which you can find at facebook.com/groups/thegocast. And I want to say hello to Augusto Feliciano, Jonathan Swiskowski, and AJ Youngbluth. Welcome to the community. Hope you're enjoying the conversations. Also, we don't have any new Discord members. However, if you look at the link that is in the show notes for this episode, you will find an awesome community of gamers over there on Discord. And also, please do us a favor and drop us a review on iTunes. It helps us get the word out about what we're doing so more people can hear the show. You know what? We do have a review, actually. I forgot I put one in here. This one comes from T. Dixon 508. The title of this review is very enjoyable. And he or she says, as a gamer, I enjoy having in-depth information presented in a fun manner. You guys rock. Thank you very much, T. Dixon 508. We really do appreciate it. Last thing I'll plug is our website, where you can find all of our episodes as well as all of our written reviews. And we've got written reviews for Maneater, which CB has up there. Also, Dandara, Trials of Fear Edition, which I reviewed. And there's also a video review of a game that Rel played called Inexistence Rebirth, which he's going to be talking about here in just a couple minutes. Speaking of, let's go ahead and jump into the games we've actually been playing. Okay, Zach, what's coming out this week? Anything exciting?
Choose Your Own Adventure game Liberated, which plays out in comic book panels, comes to Switch on June 2nd.
That actually has like a little bit of a Limbo vibe to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the black and white stark contrast.
Yeah, the black and white. That's what you're saying. Game Freak, developers of Pokemon, release Little Town Hero on PS4 June 2nd. That launched as Switch a few months ago to nothing but critical failure.
I was going to say, because that looks so complicated in the trailer that you posted.
Yeah. Valorant launches worldwide on PC June 2nd. That's the League of Legends hero shooter. Awesome P2, a Game Boy inspired platformer. PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and PC June 3rd. Then you got a little Pro Cycling Manager 2020 comes to PS4, Xbox One, PC June 4th. Then Tour de France 2020, CB's personal favorite video game franchise, comes to PS4 and Xbox One. Interestingly, the PC version is delayed, but the PS4 and Xbox One versions come out June 4th. And then this game looks like a lot of fun. It feels like a necessary purchase on Switch just because it comes with 51 games. Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics comes to Switch June 5th. And then The Outer Worlds gets ported to Switch June 5th as well.
You know, what looks really cool from this list is Awesome P2. That trailer, I know it looks like Game Boy looking graphics. It looks like Super Meat Boy in a whimsical way. I may pick that up. That looks like a lot of fun to me.
I appreciate that we've gotten to the point where the Game Boy is nostalgic enough to make platformers inspired by it.
Yeah, like that color palette, like the green and black.
The green and greener.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Shades of green.
But that's
what's sticking out for you, CB?
I'm actually going to pick up that Clubhouse Games.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good family-friendly game from everything that I've seen, especially because my older son loves to play board games, and we can sit there and play like little board games.
Right, 51 classic board games. Like it's
got like Go and
Parcheesi.
Yeah,
I love
backgammon.
Love Parcheesi.
It just feels. I hate this tired phrase, but it just feels perfect for Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does. But by the way, can I just make one quick comment? Why did we need a Pro Cycling Manager game? I can't imagine the target audience for that.
I thought they were one game, like they were purchased together or whatever at first, but they are not. There's just a Pro Cycling Manager. How could that be fun?
I literally, if there's anybody listening to this, please send me a message because I want to know the target audience for this game and why people would want to be drawn to this game after playing Tour de France 2019.
Maybe on mobile, I could see that sort of game succeeding.
No,
but I can't imagine Tour de France comes out on the same day. If you're a huge cyclist, hobbyist, why in the world would you pick the Cycling Manager game?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me unless that game is $5. I'm
going to sit down in front of my couch. I'm going to watch AI cycle.
There's got to be something more to it that we just don't know. But I can't for the life of me figure out what that would be or what that would be fun. If you're into cycling, you're going to cycle. Even if it's a stationary bike, You're going to cycle, right?
I can't. Yeah. I mean, cycling itself does not seem like a perfect video game transition anyway.
Well, what do you think, CB?
Test.
How does that translate to video games?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like that. There, we have the whole motto. There's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you. Tour de France 2019 was, in my opinion, a game for no one.
Somebody must. I mean, they keep pumping them out every year.
Yep, and I keep glossing right over them. So, yeah, I have no idea who that's for.
Yeah,
especially the Cycling Manager.
Well, on a better news, you've been playing Minecraft Dungeons, CB.
Yeah, it's
baby's first Diablo, right?
Yeah, it is literally baby's first Diablo.
Man, that's a little reductive. It's
it's cute.
Do you play Pokemon, CB?
Yes.
Or have you? I mean, yeah. I was talking to Scott earlier. Does this feel like Pokemon always feels like to me a great kids first RPG? Is this a good kids looting game? Minecraft Dungeons?
Yeah, this is I think I was actually talking with Scott about this at one point in time. This would be a great game to get people into that type of game.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt when I played it.
See, that's how I feel about Pokemon.
And I'm actually enjoying it enough that I'm still playing it.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's fun.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty enjoyable.
I mean, you've played Diablo 3, right, Zach?
Oh,
Yeah, yes, I've played some Diablos.
I know you played Diablo 2. I've not played 2, so I don't know how it compares in terms of like control scheme.
Oh, okay.
But
I played Diablo 3.
Diablo 2 is basically not as polished Diablo 3.
yeah, I mean, but this
Right.
control is exactly the same. Like you've got your potion is in the same trigger button. The face buttons are each of the 3 spells that you get. Oh no, I'm sorry. The trigger is like your arrows. You actually have arrows.
Yes.
That is one nice thing is I feel like there weren't classes at the beginning like there are at Diablo. But I always feel stressed out as to, am I going to go with my barbarian? Am I going to go with my, what are the other ones? I can't even remember.
Necromancer
And all that kind of stuff. You just basically pick a different color palette. And, they just all look like Minecraft. So I actually felt somewhat relieved that I didn't have to worry about a class. Did you, CB, or do you like the classes?
I like classes in these types of games. But this game does a very good job at mixing ranged with melee.
I agree.
It's very simplified because you only have your bow, your primary weapon, an armor slot, and then 3 other general for artifacts or other things to boost you.
Right. There's basically 6 things to swap out, and you've got your green arrows, your red arrows, just like you do in Diablo. But, in Diablo, some people hate this, but I loved in Diablo going back to town and then just spending 10, 15 minutes in town changing my loot and dismantling things. That process is so streamlined in Minecraft Dungeon. 40 seconds to get geared up and ready for the next mission, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Also, for those of you who are interested in playing this and you do want to swap out your gear as often as I do, when you pause the screen,
Yes.
it doesn't pause the
I
game.
learned that the hard way because the game lets you know that you're being attacked. Like it starts like your controller shakes and then the screen in the background starts going red. Yeah.
Pulses
It's
red. I'm like, oh God, no.
So
Wait, is there a story to this game at all?
there is.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
You are a Minecraft villager fighting it back against the Arch Illager.
He comes across like this
Sure.
magical stone, which is, a square, a cube, that turns him into a bad guy, and he lords over all of the other villagers and forces them to do his bidding. And you were the hero sent to thwart him.
Well, he was also cast out of the villager society for not
Right.
conforming. So, and then
Oh.
he found the thing that made him powerful, and now he's got a grudge.
Exquisite.
It's a very good. I like the analogy that you're like it's baby's first Diablo, because to be perfectly honest, that hits home with this game, and it's fun. It's easy to pick up, and I can openly say the save file for my Xbox transfers over to my PC.
Nice. Yeah,
So-
I don't say that to be reductive. I just think it's seems like a good entryway
Yeah.
into the genre.
The baby's first scene, I worry people will be turned off by that moniker, but it plays exquisitely. It's very smooth. Everything works exactly the way that you expect it to. If you've played a Diablo game, you're going to feel very much at home. Or what was the other series that was very Diablo-like that started on PC? Not
Sacred.
Torchlight. Yeah,
Torchlight?
It feels like if you play Torchlight or Diablo, you're going to feel right at home. But it just at least to the point that I've got, it's never felt crazy overwhelming.
Well, for me, the reason why I say like how Zach called it that means a lot to me, because I have a severe love for Diablo, but I don't think my son is ready to really like fully comprehend those games. Whereas this game would kind of teach him some of those mechanics because I have a feeling he would
and
like
plus you
the
can play
Diablo
with him.
games.
That's I know. To me, the better analogy would be like this is the Pixar version of Diablo. Because you watch a Pixar movie and both kids and adults can appreciate the humor. There's going to be some adult humor. I don't mean that in like an X-rated way. There's just going to be some jokes that adults are going to get that kids aren't going to get. And it's geared for both. I feel like they've scratched that itch for both kids and adults in this. This is going to be huge for parents to play with their kids. And then as they grow up, then they can transition into, by that point, Diablo 4, which is going to be a lot darker.
Well, the parent can get their kid in Diablo, and the kid can get their parent into Minecraft.
See, I played Minecraft for the longest time. I grew to hate the game. Just because I didn't care to play it. I like playing this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to have my son join me in playing it as soon as I can pull him away from Fortnite.
I didn't even check it out. I mean, it sounds like it's really fun. I just hate the way Minecraft looks. Like the art style. It just does not do it for me.
It's definitely a lot more polished than regular Minecraft.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's just still the square heads, and I think that's more what Zach's talking about. I don't want to speak for you, but is that what you mean? Yeah,
because like story mode, Minecraft story mode, Telltale. Like, I was enjoying that quite a bit, but at a certain point, I was like, okay, I don't know. It's something about the art style is just a complete turnoff to me.
Yeah, right. I was actually going to say it's very much a cleaned up, prettier Telltale like Minecraft story mode.
Well, plus you're also, since it's an isometric view game like Diablo, you're much further away from it than you are in Minecraft or in Minecraft story mode, where you're straight on in the face of these characters. So the distance makes it look slightly less boxy, even though it's clearly boxes. But it's you don't care because it's actually just a ton of fun to play. It really is fun. But I feel like it's making me want to go jump back into Diablo 3 more than it is to keep playing this one. I don't know.
Yes, but I'm gonna blaze through it. So
you both sound like you're recommending that.
Really surprised that I'm recommending it as highly as I am. But yeah, if it's a gateway drug for Diablo 3, please play it.
Yes, or any other games. It's Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
So speaking of a little bit of a blast from the past, I see, Scott, that you've been playing Moonlighter Between Dimensions.
Yes, and there's a little bit of a funny story leading up to it. I was given a review code for this, and when I go to install it, they accidentally gave me another copy of the base game instead, which was a bummer because Friday night I was just all ready to jump back into Moonlighter. Because if you remember from a couple years ago, it's one of my favorite games of the year. Adore this game, and could not wait to jump into it, and was sorely disappointed. And it was the weekend, so emailing them was not going to do me any good. So I sat and pouted, and then said, forget it, and I just went ahead and bought it for myself and decided to play it. So you've played Moonlighter a little bit, CB, so you know how it works, right?
Yeah, I played it as well, just so you know.
Oh, I didn't remember. I didn't know you played it on Switch, or did you play it on console?
I played it on PS4 out of obligation to you.
Yeah, I was about to say, he played it on a Scott Clark recommendation.
Oh, man, I don't remember. Did you like it or not?
It was fine.
It was fine. Oh, I love this game. Just a quick recap of how the game works. It's a looting game, procedurally generated levels, but instead of just taking back and upgrading everything as you go, you take the items that you find in the dungeon, bring them back to your shop, and you have to sell them based on supply and demand. You have to price every single item, wait for the store to open, and then sell the items, keep thieves from stealing your items. It's just so rewarding because you never get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. Absolutely love the game. The new DLC is called Between Dimensions, and what's really interesting about this DLC is that I don't know if I've ever seen a DLC where you cannot play it if you haven't beaten the base game.
Whoa, That's cool. Yeah, Prince of Persia 08 had a DLC like that, but People were mad about that.
I haven't heard anybody say anything about it, but I thought it was interesting because they actually warned me about it. The PR rep warned me about it. I've beaten the base game, so it wasn't a problem for me. But in the base game, there are 4 different dungeons you have to go through, and this one basically opens up a 5th one. And I can't tell you what the story is because the story is very much based on the ending of Moonlighter.
Here, dude, that's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool as well, and it made me feel cool. Like, oh yeah, I've beat the game, so I'm good. The problem I have is that it's been since 2018 since I've played Moonlighter. I beat the game, and I didn't go back and try to get all the achievements or anything. So I'm a little behind the curve. So while I was pouting and waiting for a response from this PR rep to see if I could get this, and finally the decision to purchase it anyway, I went back and just started a new save file and started the game over just to refamiliarize myself with it. But then when I started the DLC, you have to start as the finished game. So my character is all leveled up to beat the final boss. And so now my weapons are all souped up, and I just felt godlike for a minute, which is kind of cool. But then I jumped into this 5th dungeon that is between dimensions. And the enemies, there are, I think, 15 new enemy types. It is so freaking hard, man. I can't decide if it is so hard because it's been so long since I've played the game or played at that high of a level. I am having to relearn how to dodge these enemies, and it's not a quality of the game issue at all. It's just me out of practice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I had forgotten it came out so long ago. It's kind of it's a hell of an expectation to have on the consumer.
Well, it's been out on PC for a while. They released the DLC on PC quite several months ago. I think early 2019. So, it's been over a year, or roughly a year. But yeah, you're not wrong. Are you expecting players to keep playing Moonlighter like this entire time? I mean,
I guess it's a roguelike, right? Keep on playing. It'll never get old.
Yeah, but this roguelike actually ends. You know what I mean? There's actually bosses and a final boss and an actual story that wraps up, which is really interesting, and it goes an interesting place. I will say that it went a very unexpected place. So really enjoying it. I'm struggling personally because I'm having to relearn the game all over again. How to, what my upgrades are and how to sell and how to, I get to expand my shop even bigger than it was before. There are new things happening in the shop that weren't happening to me before. Like birds fly into the store now, which happens. If you ever go to Walmart, there may be a bird flying around in the store, but your customers will stop shopping if a bird flies in. They just kind of freak out. So you have to actually go get rid of the bird before they'll continue on shopping, which is interesting. You actually have to attend customers. So a customer will have a question mark over their head, and I have to go click on them just to be like, sir, may I help you find something? And then they buy the item. But
so
definitely keeps you on your toes.
Are you enjoying that part of it?
Oh, yes. I still love the shopkeeper part of it. It's just it's a strange jump because I started the game over again, being where I'm selling items for 50, maybe 250 gold here and there, and now I'm collecting items in the dungeon in the DLC pack that are going for 5,500 gold, and I'm selling 4 or 5 of them at a time. So needless to say, I got this achievement for getting over 1 million gold, and it wasn't even trying. It's just because the items are so valuable. But yeah, it's still fun playing around with the prices, trying to find the right prices, and the dungeons are just hard. I haven't even passed one level of the dungeon. It's that difficult.
So something just hit me as you were talking about this.
Uh-huh.
You like going out collecting things to bring it back to your shop to sell to the people and everything. Why don't you like Animal Crossing?
Boy, that's a good question.
No combat.
I think honestly a big part of me, that's maybe it. I crave the combat, the dungeon and the looting. I feel like in Animal Crossing, at least again, to my original point, I think part of my problem is that my only experience with Animal Crossing was New Leaf, and people are telling me that New Leaf was a terrible version of Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Our community has just been raving about the new one on Switch.
I bought it.
You did?
Yep. I was going to start it tomorrow. So.
All right. Well, now I'm going to have to play it after you do.
I know.
Although I imagine you're going to be playing it for forever now.
Yeah.
Don't show it to your wife.
I know.
Or do. Maybe that'll get her into gaming.
Oh, no. No, because then I will never see my Switch again.
Yeah. But I think the dungeon crawling aspect of it is what I crave. And the procedurally generated. I feel like in Animal Crossing, you're just at the mercy of that dude that like
Tom Nook
has you in debt. Yeah. Like I'm just doing his bidding.
Gotta get them bells.
Right. So yeah, Moonlighter Between Dimensions. If you like Moonlighter, can't recommend it enough as long as you've beat the game. Don't get it unless you beat the game.
I'll have to finish it now.
All right, got one more review for you real quick. I sat down and talked to Rel about a PC game that you're not going to want to miss. It is a Metroidvania game, but it's only 2 hours long. If that sounds interesting or intriguing to you, you're going to want to hear him talk about that right now. Well, hello there, Rel. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. And yourself? Staying safe?
I am trying my best to stay safe, yes. It's a scary time to be alive, but we're here to talk about a game that you've been reviewing for us called Inexistence Rebirth from Jonathan Broussard, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Super Indie Games hooked us up with this review copy, and I was real excited because I love me some Metroidvanias, but it sounds like you may not have fell in love with this game as I expected you to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Metroidvanias as well, and like initially when I first started playing the game, I thought, it was fine, it was good. I took some issues with some enemy hitboxes, but I'm bad, so what do I know? But as the game went on, it sort of underscored kind of how shallow it was, essentially, because as the game goes on, you sort of realize there's not that much there.
Right.
And it's not just in terms of length, and I think I told you about this before. I cleared the game under 2 hours on my first attempt. And for me, at least, any Metroidvania where I clear it in under 2 hours, that's a pretty short game. Anybody else would probably be able to do it like under an hour and a half.
Gotcha.
But it's more than just the length. It's the fact that you only have one weapon. There's not a whole lot of items. There's sort of a I don't want to put this. There's sort of a basic system in place for leveling up and making yourself stronger and gaining new skills, but it's nothing terribly exciting. Like every time you level up, you get a skill point. You can save up those skill points to buy certain things like an extra combo attack or a forward dodge roll in addition to a backward dodge roll, or just buy the map. You can just get the game map for 10 skill points and just know exactly where to go.
Map?
The entire game map.
That's interesting. My biggest question with this is because when I think Metroidvania, I think get new weapon, which opens up a new area of the map, which in my mind constitutes a lengthy play experience. So how does that wrap up in less than 2 hours like you're talking?
Well, the way the game's set up is that you're first on an island. Like the whole game takes place on the Isle of Hope, And so you're first trying to traverse the island in order to get to the evil castle where the evil man is doing evil things and you're going to stop him from doing the evil things. But the island itself is probably about half the game in terms of map size. Because once you get to the castle, it's not any bigger, again, in terms of map size, than the island. And so you end up fighting a lot more bosses. Like on the island itself, you fight 2 bosses, you get a fireball spell and a double jump, and you're off to the castle. And then in the castle, you get everything else. So you end up fighting 4 or 5 bosses. I think it's about 4 or 5. In what feels like more rapid succession, and thus you get more power-ups more quickly. And so there's not as much, I can't reach this place, I need to go back there later. It's just, there's a few places on the island where you have to go back once you get additional abilities, but otherwise, it just feels like you're speedrunning through it.
Are there, we always have this moniker here. There's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you. What are the positives about this? And are there any?
Well, I do want to point out that I don't think this is a bad game. I just don't think that it necessarily stacks up to others in the same genre. Like, for example, I started playing Shantae and the Seven Sirens after this, deliberately waited until after this, and it was a marked difference in both the depth of the game and how much there was to explore and how much there was to do. With this game, it just felt like there wasn't much there, which doesn't make it a bad game, but it does mean that it's not one that I would peg among the higher echelons of Metroidvanias.
Do you think maybe his next game, like this, could be like a stepping stone type of situation?
I
think
you
want to see more from him, or
I think so. I think if he could just expand what he's got, and work a little bit on boss AI, because there were a couple of bosses where I was able to sort of cheese it, where I stood in one place and jumped up and hit them, and they didn't move. So that was fun, but also something to fix. I mean, I think that it's a decent enough Castlevania. I think it's better than some Castlevanias I have played, because some of them have been just actual garbage. With just broken physics and unfun maps and just everything else. So I think I would recommend it if you're in the mood for a nice quick game and it's on sale. I just wouldn't necessarily recommend it for a $10 price tag.
Yeah, I saw it for $8, which, you know,
I think
you pay $10 for a 2-hour movie.
I think that's the sale price for it, right?
Oh, I didn't know. When I looked at it, it looked like it was just straight up $8, but maybe I looked at it incorrectly.
Oh, if it's $8, then my review is wrong. Oh no, it is $8. Oh no. Okay. If it's $8, it makes it a little bit more of a general recommend, but I would probably still recommend waiting for a sale. I do think there's other Metroidvanias out there that are more worth your time.
Fair enough. Again, that is Inexistence Rebirth from Jonathan Brissaud. Rel, thanks so much for stopping by to chat about this game.
Well, thanks so much. And before I forget, you can catch the video review for this game on my channel right now. It's youtube.com/relplays. That's RELLE plays.
And check out just his whole channel. He does a phenomenal job with video reviews. I'm genuinely envious of your ability to do that, man. Just everything from your script writing to your video editing, and just the fact that you do a nice, succinct review in 2 to 4 minutes is quite a feat.
Well,
I'm impressed.
I don't have much time to make a longer review. I have a baby.
There you go. All right, man. Well, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Later.
Zach, what else have you been catching up on?
Oh man, I've been having an Uncharted week.
It looks like it. Holy cow.
Yeah, I played Uncharted 4, Thief's End, Uncharted Lost Legacy, and a little bit of Uncharted Golden Abyss this week.
Is that the Vita one?
It is the Vita one, yeah. I still got my Vita, man. He's awesome. It's all the prep for a big Patreon episode coming up. But Uncharted 4, I don't hate it with the vitriol that I formerly did, but I still don't think it's very good. I think it plays immaculately. Like I think it plays so good. Like just the combat and the jumping and everything is so great.
Right.
But it just fits in the narrative. Just don't do it for me. Like the Sam Drake, it's a hard thing to get over. And it's also that game is twice as long as it needs to be.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Especially once you get because half the game is on the pirate island, that you're looking for, whatever, and it just drags, man. It just goes and goes and goes. But all the Nate and Elena stuff is great. I did notice, which I think is kind of weird to stick out. I don't like the music in Uncharted 4.
Huh? Really?
I was surprised.
The main theme is still there, right?
I think it's. I might play during the credits. It is not in the menu anymore. But it is because I played them so back to back or whatever. And Uncharted 1 through 3 have a very specific style, and Uncharted 4 does not. And I guess I found out is because when Amy Hennig left as writer and director, the composer said that the tone that the Last of Us team were going with was so far removed from what he considered to be Uncharted that he had to step away from the project.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, the Uncharted Lost Legacy is awesome. Yeah, nice 6-hour little game. Chloe and,
that was a nice bite-sized one.
Chloe and Nadine tearing it up. I mean, it's the length of the first 3, you know?
Right.
Those are all like 6-8 hour games. And it was just great. Because they actually make Sam drink a good character there. That was nice.
Nice.
But that was just a very good game. And then Uncharted Golden Abyss is very fun. Weirdly fun.
Is that the one that's got like vine climbing mechanics with a back touchpad or something?
Yeah. You alternate your fingers on the back touchpad to climb up ropes, or you. What I really like is you tap the corner of the screen to reload, which I think is really nice because you can do that super fast. And you can use the gyroscope to fine tune your aim. It's a pretty good game. I mean, it's obviously doesn't look as good as any of the other games, but seeing little young Nate run around with a slightly younger Sully, that game's great. It's a shame they don't find a way to put it on consoles.
That would be cool. Do you remember how excited we were for the Vita when that first came out? When that was announced, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Well, and then they had, they came out at a good price point too. It was like $300. Okay, yeah, $250. Oh, we can do that. And then those memory cards, man.
Yeah.
If you want a 1 gig of memory, $80. That's absurd.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
And they were just like first party only, right? You couldn't get like a proprietary.
No,
memory card.
they kept their memory cards proprietary. You couldn't use the standard SD card. It was
Sorry, I said that
crap.
backwards.
It was complete crap, and they shot themselves in the foot by doing that.
Anything else besides Uncharted?
The other 2 games I've been playing this week, it looks like you 2 have been playing, so I'll just wait for you guys to start.
Okay, CB.
I tried to catch up on some achievements with same as Scott has been doing, and then also playing a lot more of Forza Street.
Forza Street is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it is.
It really is.
I downloaded it. I did. As advertised last week, I downloaded it. I've been playing it a little bit every day. This is just a smart concept.
I'm struggling with trying to figure out at what point I'm supposed to press or release the brake. Is it the nose of the car hits
It's the nose.
the front line or the back line or in the middle?
It's like between the nose and the front tires.
But where on the stripe are you supposed to stop it? Or
Just
press it or release it?
So for the brake, it's just before you hit the red.
Mm-hmm.
And then to hit the gas, it's just after you cross back into the yellow.
Okay. I'm gonna have to mess with it some more. I can't seem to get the timing down.
Yeah, I just hit level 18 earlier today.
Wow.
I've been playing this game a lot.
Yeah, I haven't played it that much.
I haven't either. I played a little bit after we recorded last week, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't touch it again since, but I was enjoying it. I just forgot about it. It's not in my game folder. I haven't moved it over to my game folder on my phone yet, so.
Oh. Yeah, I've actually 100%ed the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the individual little nodes and races through the entire first episode. I'm partially into the second. The story is getting really weird. So
in a good way?
I'm not quite sure yet because they keep talking about this ultimate prize.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Another car?
I don't know. And
Maybe it's the DeLorean.
I'm just really surprised at how much actual content they've packed into this thing. Because
have you spent any money on it?
I still have yet to spend any money.
Nice.
So not only is there the story, but there's like an upgrade system where they have like different types of races. And then there's like individual upgrade systems for each of the different types of cars, because there's like sports car, supercar, muscle, and street. And then they're doing like a weekly thing where they put a spotlight on one car, and there's like a whole race series for that. So there's a lot of content for a free game.
That's good to hear. I'm enjoying it as well. Just a little bit I played.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you mentioned, CB, I simply could not stand for you being that far ahead of me in achievement points. So I decided to do some achievement hunting this week. I imagine You've already surpassed me since I caught up to you.
No.
But I played a game called North, another called Caretaker, Storm Boy, Wandersong, Tacoma, Mushroom Quest, and Stone. I completed all those to 1,000 achievement points each.
Stone was such a disappointment.
My God, what an awful game that was.
Wow. What kind of game is it? Is it like a puzzle game?
Bad. It's just bad.
It's not even, you don't even do anything in the game, and you literally just walk around and talk to, you just find the character to talk to, scene, end scene. New scene pops up.
Yeah.
Go to talk to another character, scene ends. And it's loony enough that it kind of had my attention at the beginning, and the story is just so disappointing. It's just, it's such a letdown by the end of the story.
The voice acting is so bad.
I think that the main character is okay, that does Stone, but like the other characters that he interacts with are pretty bad.
No, even his is not great.
It's
if I had to rate, if I had to give a letter grade, I would give him a C-, and the rest would all just be, you didn't even complete the class.
It was pretty bad. The one I was ready to like just give up on was Caretaker. That game is
abysmal.
Stupid. There is a stealth section that doesn't make any sense at all in that game whatsoever.
I know the exact spot you're talking about too.
Down the hallway?
Yep.
Yeah, that was just maddening. It was so stupid. Wandersong's a super weird game, but I appreciated the premise.
Yes. Also,
Like
did you just do the achievement guide?
Yeah, I actually had one glitch out on me, though, so I had to like delete the entire game and reinstall it and put it on there. But
Cute.
yeah, there's a cheat to unlock a level select, and then you just hit the levels that you need in order to get the achievements. You don't even have to play like the whole game.
So the only reason I bring that up is it probably took like 45 minutes to an hour to get all those achievements. That game has to be massive.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's something like 45 or 50 levels, and they're all
52 levels.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, most of these games are not ones that I would necessarily recommend you playing for fun, but seriously, half of these games I got 1,000 achievement points in like 15 minutes.
Storm Boy has a cute little story to it.
It is, but the gameplay is almost non-existent.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Zach?
Wait. Oh, we didn't talk about The Last of Us?
Oh, well, I talked about it earlier, so...
Well, I'm sorry to play it, too, for the sequel. That's all.
So
I'm sorry to play it for the sequel as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot you told me you started it. Are you feeling as down on that as I am?
I'm only about 2 hours in. Right off the bat, I am impressed by Troy Baker's performance as Joel.
Mm-hmm.
The intro hit a lot harder this time, which was not, it did its job.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm 2 hours in, and I've solved the same puzzle about 5 or 6 times already. So that's been pretty irritating.
Strap in. There's more.
You do kind of overlook it. I've played it twice. But you really overlook it when you're in the story, but when you're just like trying to play through it, get ready for the sequel or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that sucks.
So you're understanding where I'm coming from.
No, I mean, absolutely. I understood before, but just having it refreshed, I'm like, dude, I got to find a ladder again?
Yeah.
It's my third ladder in the last 45 minutes. Are you kidding me?
Do you find, I don't know if this is because in my mindset, I'm trying to get through it as quickly as possible just because I want to see the story again. But I find myself getting stuck. Like, where do you want me to go? And I have to just like hang around and look until finally the L3 thing clicks up and says, look over here. And like, oh, okay, that's where I was supposed to go.
Not yet, but boy, if you're having that problem in the first game, I can only imagine what'll happen in the sequel.
Right. With no direction at all?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin the flow of the outro. I just wanted to...
No, that's fine. It's my bad. I forgot that you had been playing it this week as well, even though we talked about it today. But I had written it off since we talked about it earlier in the episode. So
And the listening mode is so goofy that I just won't use it. Like it completely ruins the atmosphere of the game for me.
Yeah.
The absurdity that Joel is also Daredevil.
Daredevil.
He can see through walls. Based on people's
I
footprints.
see.
It's insane.
No, it's you listening. Yeah, that's what Daredevil does, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of hope. It's got to be in the second game, right?
It is.
It has to.
No, I think
they showed it in the
they
gameplay.
did show it, but you could develop a better way to track stealth. It just seems in a game that takes itself so seriously.
You know what will bug you even more is the fact that you're a stealth game and as long as you were hidden behind an object perfectly fine, nobody can hear you, but your partner character can be just wandering around picking berries right next to the clicker and they don't notice at all, which thank God. Could you imagine trying to play a game and trying to manage an NPC player like that? That would just be insane, but I'm glad that's not an issue. Although it doesn't look like, well, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there, just because I know some people haven't watched anything. So, all right, well that will do it for this episode of the Gaming Outsider. Zach, any parting words before we get out of here?
I just started watching Justified.
Oh, such a good
such
show!
A great series.
I've watched the first season like years ago, and then got distracted with something else. But that show is phenomenal. Raylan Givens.
Where is it?
What do you,
Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Yeah,
Hulu. Okay.
It is. Raylan Givens is he's so great.
That first episode drew me in, and I never looked back.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get why, because Walton Goggins is supposed to die in that pilot. That's crazy.
Could you imagine that show without Walton Goggins' character?
Right. But he's just so compelling that first episode that I too, if I were the writer, would be like, no, okay, he's not gonna die then. But man, Raylan Givens is the coolest character. Very cool, calm, and collected.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm gonna go back and watch that. I'm gonna add that to my Hulu as soon as we're done here. I got a couple shows I need to catch. I still need to finish Barry. I started watching Space Force last night.
Yeah.
Which I feel like everybody is super negative on. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. So I don't know. People are saying it's poorly written. It's making me laugh. That's all I care.
That's all that matters.
CB, what about you?
I'm gonna go watch Justified as soon as we get done. I love that show.
Yes, I mean, that's what I'm gonna do after this.
Isn't that the infamous he had the infamous line that says if you wake up and you run into an a-hole and no, it's something about if you run into an a-hole.
If you run into an a-hole in the morning, you ran into an a-hole. But if you run into a-holes all day, you're the a-hole.
Yeah, which is a great line.
Yeah,
Timothy Olyphant. Every line read is so good from Timothy Olyphant. That show,
dude. That show actually made me love him as an actor.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I've only
between that and then watching Santa Clarita Diet.
I was a big Deadwood fan.
I need to try and get into that one again.
Those two shows, didn't they end with like cliffhanger endings, which makes me just not want to watch the show?
Wait, Santa Clarita and Deadwood?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Santa Clarita ended on a cliffhanger.
And Deadwood never finished, right?
Last year they finished it with an HBO movie.
Yeah.
I thought they actually finished it. I heard that didn't finish it.
No, that's okay. I have not watched it because I feel like I got to rewatch the show. But yeah, that movie's out there, man.
Good to know. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Zach and CB, thanks for being here. If you guys out there have any questions, please be sure to email us or maybe some concerns. Our address again is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.